Can you work online in Mexico? What if you want to travel and you don't have home internet? Is that possible? It actually is. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about the major companies in Mexico and which ones have the best signal, the best prices, and are the best options for being a digital nomad. I've been working online since 2014. I've traveled all throughout Mexico, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I now travel with my 2 children and my husband. So let's start with Telcel. Telcel is the biggest company in Mexico. It has the best signal, no doubt about that. Unfortunately, Telcel does not have an unlimited plan. Apart from that, I would say that Telcel, the data disappears. Sometimes I put up to 500 pesos, about $25 in data on my Telcel number, and it goes away before you even get a chance to use the phone. So I've never had luck with Telcel, nor do I know anyone who has. The next option is Unefon. Unefon uses the AT&T network, so it gets a good signal in medium, large-sized cities. I've never personally had AT&T, but they use the same network. We have 2 chips that are Unefon that we continue to put credit on to this day because they're 300 pesos a month, which is about $15, and they're unlimited. After COVID, they stopped selling their unlimited chips, so you can't find a Unefon unlimited chip today. We continue to put credit on them just to have them active so that in case our other option runs out or if something goes down, we have 2 different networks always to be able to work. We did have problems driving back and forth from Yucatan, from Riviera Maya towards Mexico City. There are a lot of places where Unifon has no signal at all. There's no signal. The only option is Telcel. That would be the downfall there. If you're planning on staying in medium to large size cities, you'll be fine with Unifon. But again, they don't sell that chip anymore. Their chips now have a limit. The next one is, another thing about Unifon is that you used to be able to hack, because they don't give you a Wi-Fi hotspot, you used to be able to hack I don't know how, my husband used to do it. He used to hack our Samsung phone to be able to use it as a hotspot. But now it's impossible to do. So I don't know what they closed there, but we used to have an Unifon chip just as a Wi-Fi hotspot in an old cell phone. It worked great. You will never get a message from them saying that you've gone over the fair use policy. The next option is Movistar. I had Movistar for a few months, about last year during the quarantine. I've had them before, but last year I got their unlimited plan. It was about 550 pesos, and I paid 200 pesos more a month just for their Wi-Fi hotspot. Unfortunately, every month, within a week, I would get a message saying that I violated the fair use policy. If you're not sure what fair use is, this is when they say you've used too much internet on an unlimited internet plan. It doesn't make much sense. The fair use policy typically is 20 to 30 gigabytes for all of these unlimited plans. But I got the messages saying that it would slow down to slower than molasses, and it really just wasn't usable. Also, many places that we traveled didn't have any Movistar coverage. So I stopped paying it. I also tried Virgen, the Virgen chip, about 6 months ago. I got it because it was 150 pesos for the first month, which is about $7.50. And then it was about $15 or 300 pesos every month for unlimited service. Unfortunately, when I got the chip, it didn't have anything on it. It was supposed to have a month of internet. It didn't have any. So I had to put 300 pesos on it right away. And then within a few days, I got another message saying that I had used up all the fair use. Again, the fair use of the unlimited plan, using too much internet on the unlimited plan. So I actually paid another month. I paid another 300 pesos for another month of service, thinking that, all right, well, they're just going to give me like another week at least. And no, it just never worked. So I paid 750 pesos for a couple days of service and just threw the chip out. The option that we actually use, that we love, the best option I found so far is the Megacable chip. And Megacable is an internet company. It's not available all over Mexico is the problem. but it's an internet company, and they just recently came out with cell phone chips that use the Telcel network. So I pay $10 a month, 200 pesos, never get a message about fair use. And I upload 4K videos, I upload courses to Udemy, everything. Use about 80 gigabytes a month on my cell phone alone. I've never had a problem with them. And driving back and forth with having, my iPad has the Unefon chip, the old Unefon chip, and my cell phone has the Movistar chip. The difference in coverage going through those small towns was night and day. It's at the point where we are just going to get, before we leave Veracruz, we're going to get 3 Megacable chips and sign up for the lowest possible internet package, because you have to have home internet with Megacable in order to get these chips. But to pay $15 a month or 300 pesos, and we can have 3 unlimited chips with the best internet, the fastest internet, that's still 3 chips. It's about 900 pesos for that. And as you saw, as I said, I already spent 750 a month with Movistar. That didn't really work. And I wasted 750 pesos on Virgen for a couple of days. So spending 900 pesos for me, and knowing that I have the service and the best service, and I'm not going to get that message all of a sudden where I can't use the internet anymore, is worth it to me. I also want to talk about the US companies. I'm not experienced with all of them, but the 2 that I am experienced with are Metro PCS. I had a Metro PCS phone. It was about $55 a month. And the problem was, being outside of the US, I couldn't use the Wi-Fi hotspot that I was paying for. And I would constantly get messages that if you continue to be outside of the United States, we're going to shut off your service as a breach of their user agreement. I ended up getting rid of it because in pesos, that's 1,100 pesos. Well, I can have a 200 peso chip that gets a way better service. Ironically, I switched to Google Fi. I switched to Google Fi early last year in 2020. And I loved Google Fi until COVID. The funny thing about using Google Fi is that when I would do my speed test, I would actually be on the Metro PCS network and be getting like 50, 60 megas, when I actually had Metro PCS right before, and I was never on the Metro PCS network. I was on a different network and getting very few megas, like 8 or 10. I always thought that was really funny. But when COVID happened, Google Fi just stopped working. I was fighting constantly with their customer service. All of a sudden, they got rid of customer service. They didn't have anybody helping people. You can probably find all of my complaints on their message board. And the last time I actually got through to them, they were like, "Oh yeah, you need to pay $500 your bill. It's over $100 a month for no service." And I said, "What do you mean I need to pay? I contacted you guys 4 months ago about this problem. There's no service. You can see the graph of my account. Use every month. Ton of use, ton of gigas, and then 0 for 6 months when I had called them repeatedly when COVID happened. And they just dropped the ball. They have charged me over $500 when I didn't have service, and I had already called to say I didn't have service. So Google Fi is not a friend of mine. I would never try it again. Also, if you're going to do Google Fi, you have to be in the United States to activate the chip. You can't activate it from abroad anymore. And anything else about them? Basically, Google Fi, the problem is when Google Fi uses up the extra of the internet wherever you are, which is a great idea, until you have a situation with COVID where everyone's at home and on the internet. There is no extra to use. There's no extra. So if it weren't for that, I probably still would be with them. But at the end of the day, the setup that we have is I have my iPad, which I use less than my iPhone. These are the 2 principal things I use for work. I use my iPad. It has the Unefon chip. And my iPhone has the Megacable chip. I know people would say, well, why wouldn't you just get 2 Megacable chips? They're both $10 a month. Because it's very few and far between that the Telcel Red goes out. But it has gone out. And when it does, it's always at the worst time. So this way I know that I have 2 different networks. I feel that I'm covered on those 2 different networks. And that's worth it for me because I'm paying 500 pesos a month, $25, but I know that these two companies, I have unlimited service. I'm not going to get a fair use message. And they both have good service in most places. It's only when we're driving across the country that really I can't use the Unefon chip. When I'm in any city, it does have good service. You're probably thinking, how many megas are you getting? What is good service? I'm constantly testing the internet from working online, and anywhere between 20 on the low end to 50, 60 on the high end, you're getting, I would say, an average of 40 megabytes download, 10 to 20 upload on a chip. Many times, most of the time, using a cell phone chip is actually giving us better internet than the house internet or the hotel internet where we're at. Right now, we're at a campground. There is no Wi-Fi. There's no Wi-Fi here. There's no service, but I have great internet anyway. Is it good enough to work on Zoom? Is it good enough to work in general? Yes. I used to do online classes with up to 12 cameras going at once on Zoom and didn't have a problem using my data. I download a lot of graphics. I use Adobe Illustrator, very heavy programs like Photoshop. And usually I don't turn on the Wi-Fi because it's faster on my cell phone. And with the Megacable chip, the big thing with the Megacable chip, with the Unefon chip, with any chip that's giving you unlimited, is that there is no Wi-Fi hotspot. Right now, as it is in 2021, in May, after COVID, a lot of the plans changed. I assume people were using Wi-Fi hotspots on their unlimited plans, but right now you cannot find an unlimited plan with a Wi-Fi hotspot. It's very rare that I have to use my computer, but if I do have to use my computer, my options basically are to find a place with Wi-Fi or to use a Telcel chip or something like that I can put credit on really quick and use the Wi-Fi hotspot for whatever I need to use on my computer. But I wouldn't say that happens more than once a month. We usually find a McDonald's, we find a hotel, use at-home internet wherever we are. There's not many things I can do, I need my computer for, that I can't do on my iPad or my iPhone. I guess it would depend on the kind of job that you have. But for us, we have been able to work successfully online using data, both before, during, and after the pandemic. I hope that this video was helpful to you. I hope that it explains your options for cell phone coverage in Mexico, and especially with regards to working online, being a digital nomad. Follow my channel if you want to know more information about working and traveling online in Mexico. And make sure that you comment below if you have any questions. If there's anything that I didn't explain enough, just comment below your questions and I will be happy to answer them.